ChatGPT has a new feature called Pulse, ChatGPT Pulse, and it is a version of proactive AI. So normally when we work with an AI, it's up to us to start the conversation. If you are building an application that you want people to use, if you want to make your application sticky, you want people to be downloading it and keep on using it because later you're going to monetize them, then you need things that bring them back to the application. So think of Duolingo, for example, and how the owl in Duolingo will send you passive-aggressive messages saying, hey, have you practiced Japanese yet? This is a way to bring people back into the application every single day, and that boosts the numbers for the company, their weekly and their daily active users. It helps to create a habit in the users. It's just something that you do. You go and check on certain apps every single day. ChatGPT have added something called Pulse, and I'm pretty sure this is them pushing towards having a more sticky application. So OpenAI is launching a new feature inside of ChatGPT called Pulse, which generates personalized reports for users while they sleep. Pulse offers users 5 to 10 briefs that can get them up to speed on their day and is aimed at encouraging users to check ChatGPT first in the morning. Yeah, they want you to be checking on it like you would a social media application or the news. Pulse is part of a broader shift in OpenAI's consumer products, which are lately being designed to work for users asynchronously instead of responding to questions. Features like ChatGPT Agent, I've done a few videos on that, or Codex aim to make ChatGPT feel more like an assistant rather than a chatbot. And with Pulse, OpenAI seemingly wants ChatGPT to be more proactive. So personally, before I go to bed, I'll always set up a ChatGPT Agent task. I want to be sleeping while it's off doing something for me. This is asynchronous usage. You don't have to be there typing and reading what it gives you. Pulse seems an additional step. So when you wake up every morning, it's going to give you, hey, these are the things you should know about what's going on right now. So it seems like it could be roundup of news articles, like updates on a specific sports team, as well as more personalized brief based on a user's context. So I think if you give it access to your Gmail and your Google Calendar, which I don't really recommend because we saw a jailbreak, I think it was 2 weeks ago, using Google Calendar in particular, so I don't recommend it. But if you do give that kind of access, it will be able to pull in information about, hey, this is what you're up to today. Remember, it's somebody's birthday and you need to get them a present, etc. And it's going to give you a report every morning. So each report is displayed as a card featuring AI-generated images and text. Yeah. Users can click on each one to get the full report and then can query ChatGPT about the contents. Pulse will proactively generate some reports, but users can also ask Pulse for new automated reports. So for me, for example, I could ask for one, hey, can you give me the AI news and updates that came in whilst I was sleeping, like in America? What's the newest things? And it would be able to prepare all of that and deliver it to me in the morning. So to help me to prepare for this show. Great, that's it for today. So it's an intentional design choice to make the service different to engagement optimized social media apps. Okay, so it won't just keep giving you stuff. It will only give you a handful of things. Makes a lot of sense. Here we go. Starting Thursday, it will roll out Pulse to subscribers on the $200 a month Pro plan. So it's going to start on the higher plan and then it will come down to all users further down. So Plus subscribers, $20 a month, should get access soon. But first they need to make the product more efficient. So this is quite normal. The rollout tends to be Pro, Plus, Free, and then it filters down through that. If users have the memory features turned on, it will pull in context from previous chats to improve your reports. That's really cool. I know there are privacy nightmares here, but it is really cool. OpenAI's personalization lead, Christina Wadsworth-Kaplan, gave an example of how Pulse automatically picked up on her love of running to create an itinerary for her upcoming trip to London that included running routes. And it's compatible with the connectors, so that allows you to connect into other applications. So if you are set up with Google Calendar, Gmail, etc., it will pass through your email overnight to surface the most important messages in the morning or access your calendar to generate an agenda for upcoming events. Again, privacy nightmare, very cool. And it's going to be up to us to decide how much information we want to give our AI assistants in the future. The more information we give them, the more valuable, the more useful, the more context they're going to be able to have in order to help us in our daily lives. But that's going to require giving up privacy, giving up a huge amount of information to these models and to the companies who run these models, and whether or not that is something you want to do is a personal choice entirely. It's hard to overlook how much Pulse could compete with existing news products such as Apple News, paid newsletters, or traditional journalism. So I'm going to be using this to deliver my news summary every morning, so AI news. Because right now I have some automations in place. This would give me a way to curate that a little bit more, especially because I can give it my criteria, the kind of things that I like to cover on the show, and hopefully it can surface those for me, deliver it in a nice message every single morning. Very cool. Eventually, OpenAI would like to make Pulse more agentic, to the point where it could make restaurant reservations on the user's behalf or draft emails that users could approve to be sent. So with the birthday example, oh, it's your fiance's birthday coming up. I know where you are based on your geolocation. I know where you're going to be based on that day. I have access to your calendar, so I know what times you're going to be free. Would you like me to book in this restaurant at this time? I know that you and your fiance went there before, 2 years ago, so maybe it'd be like, it would have this information and this context. Hell, if I had put in a chat maybe the year before saying I need great reservation places for an anniversary dinner that I'm going to have, it would have that information, and it would have the 5 restaurants that we discussed. Maybe it knows which one we went to, but it still has those other 4 recommendations. So it would be able to say, hey, why don't you try out XYZ, that restaurant? And while I'm sleeping, it could go and agentically check the reservations and check if there's any availability on that day. Again, the more we give away in terms of our private information, the more powerful these tools become, but it's always going to be a balance. But yeah, we could do some very cool things with this. Oh, this TechCrunch article ends with, but such features may be a long way out and would likely require OpenAI's agentic model to improve a great deal before users would trust it with such decisions. I think we overestimate people's privacy, or how much people care about privacy. Because I looked yesterday at the app Neon, which is number 2 in the App Store in the US, which basically records your private telephone conversations and then pays you when it sells those recordings to AI companies, and it pays you 30 cents per minute, up to a maximum of $30 per day. So that's 200 minutes of calls. So if you're on the phone for, 3 hours, you can make $30. But that's $900 a month, which is not bad. Not bad at all. I'm sure that will go down. But people are very willing to sell their private information or to give companies access to their private information. So we talk about privacy and the horrors of giving away our data, but I think that a lot of people do not care. And the fact that Neon is currently number 2 in the social media category on the App Store suggests that as well. You give them a small monetary incentive to give away their data. Absolutely. Take it. Take my recordings. Train on my voice. Who cares? Is it true Copilot is now giving ChatGPT style responses? Copilot, the Microsoft Copilot 365. Yesterday they launched Claude, or the Anthropic models inside of Copilot. So it should be a lot better now, because previously it was not great. Sorry, Microsoft, it wasn't though, which is why you've added Claude. Cognition, I guess Pulse completely replaces RSS feeds. Yeah, RSS is a weird one as well, because since they killed Google, what was it called? Google Feed Reader? I was looking at killed by Google yesterday. What's the RSS one? Google Reader. God, it was killed 12 years ago. Google Reader went from 2005 to 2013, and it was killed 12 years ago, and it was an RSS Atom feed aggregator. Since then, RSS got murdered, because there were applications like Feedly, but they were all premium applications. So since Google Reader got killed off 12 years ago, RSS, I think, was already on a bit of a decline. But this looks like a smarter way to do it. It's going to have a level of intelligence as well, because often when you set up an RSS feed, it's just a fire hose of information. So having a bit of a filter and being able to tweak that filter using natural language through artificial intelligence, very cool. Cognition, the Duolingo icon changes on your phone from happy to sad if you're not using it. Yeah, they've done such a good job of creating stickiness to the point where people will like boast about their Duolingo streak, which is amazing. Like, they've done a great job in terms of their product design. Oh, Drew, do both parties on the Neo app get paid per minute up to 30? No. So if you are, it depends how you do it. So if you're talking to another Neon user, you both get paid and you get the 30 cents per hour. If you are recording a telephone call to a non-Neon user, I think you get paid 15 cents per hour. This is the huge privacy issue with Neon, and why So specifically, they've used some very sneaky language in their terms and conditions, I think, to get around the wiretap laws. Because if you record a conversation with a third party, there are huge legal ramifications with that. What it looks like they're doing, Neon hasn't talked about this, but it looks like they get your whole audio file, both sides of the audio, and then they're going to cut out the second party. Still means the raw file is probably sitting somewhere for at least some amount of time, and whether or not they actually do cut it or whether they use that as free training, we don't know how shifty they're going to be. But no, if you are on a call with a third party who is not a Neon user, the other party will not get paid, only yourself.